Incendia here. This is a suspense sequence we made. It is called The Drop from Space. It's a little pun there. It's a suspense sequence because it's about a guy who's kind of building up the suspense whether to go outside or not. He can feel something out there, this force. It involves a seeker because the main character, Chip, is seeking whatever is out there. He ends up going after it. It involves a discovery because he goes and discovers this space shuttle. It involves a sixth sense because he sort of talks about how he's feeling it throughout the video, how he can feel something, and it's like the sixth sense he has about it. It involves an elusive quarry because it takes him forever to actually find it, because it was actually quite difficult to find, space shuttle, believe it or not. It involves a band of outsiders because when he gets there, he's surrounded by all these other people who are all coming together for a common cause to look at this crazy, amazing space shuttle. It involves a decoy protagonist because you think it's about Chip, but it's really about the space shuttle. It involves a local issue because it was this huge local issue. I mean, it was all over the news. They were cutting down poles to let the space shuttle through the middle of the streets. It was insanity. It involves a reversal because you don't see this coming at all. You think it's something bad is going to happen, but it ends up being something really cool. It involves the muse because it's sort of his muse that's like telling him to go forward and go seek whatever it is, and he seems inspired almost, kind of like a la the Close Encounters to the Close Encounters. A false assumption. He's falsely assuming that he knows what it is. A public performance. It was like a big performance almost. There were stages and stuff, and people like standing on them, and people were clapping. It was crazy. Right place, wrong time. Because in the beginning, that's exactly what it is. He's in the right place, but it's like 3 in the morning. He doesn't think he should be even going out at that time. The grind. It literally was grinding along the ground. Rise and fall. The space shuttle literally rise, and now it's falling back to Earth, and it's going to be on Earth from now on. Anywhere but the ground. The space shuttle was anywhere but the ground. A lost one, which is our main character and the space shuttle, you could argue. A detour. They had to do this huge detour through the middle of these streets to drive the space shuttle through. An everyman. Chip is, of course, an everyman as he sees this magnificent thing. A twist. The twist is that there's a space shuttle. The living toy is the space shuttle because it's essentially like that. It almost looked like a paper, like an airplane you play with. A hallucination. At first he thinks he might just be hallucinating. He might just be on drugs or hallucinating. A stranger comes to town. That stranger is the space shuttle. The robots. There were actually all these crazy robots next to the machine that guys were controlling with these little what's it called? Remote controls, joysticks. It was really cool. Footsteps. In the video, you see a shot of his feet and his footsteps, and you hear his feet. Myth. He sort of talks about this myth of something outside, something bigger. A search for freedom. He's sort of searching for his own freedom. He's kind of locked in his room at first, and when he breaks out, it's like this search, and he gets his freedom when he sees this amazing sight. Courage. It took courage to go out there. It was kind of a ghetto area, to be honest, where I myself ran. History. It was a moment in history. That'll never happen again, what we saw. It was incredible. It really was. Hesitance. He is hesitant at first, which kind of adds to the tension and the drama of the suspense. He's hesitant to go out. The outer regions of space. That's pretty clear because that's where it came from. The space shuttle. You could actually see the smoke burnt onto it and all the residue. It's crazy. Mind-altering drugs. He thinks he might be on drugs. Partnership. There's all these other people that are there kind of working together to bring this space shuttle through the middle of the street, and there was all sorts of partnership happening there. A hoser. That's a loser, and that is kind of what Chip is in many respects because he's just kind of staying up to 3 in the morning talking about space. A fall from grace. That could be the space shuttle because it'll never fulfill its function again. It's fallen from its purpose. It's a fall from grace. In Another Man's Shoes, at one point the main character Chip even talks about being from looking at this from another person's perspective and how crazy he must seem. Pride. It's Chip's pride that leads him towards doing it because he really believes in himself in the end. He really believes it's driving him. A cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger because we don't know where that space shuttle is going to end up. It's intermission. At one point, it goes black in the middle of the video, and then he's outside, between him being inside and outside, and that's the intermission. A scientific principle. Well, there are plenty of those that are used in regards to they had to keep in mind when they were bringing the space shuttle to the museum. It was this big, a lot of that. a locked box that is the space shuttle itself. Nobody could go in or go out. A Rube Goldberg machine. You could actually argue that the whole thing looked like one big Rube Goldberg machine. It was like ridiculous, the things that they were doing just to get this space shuttle from point A to point B. The Phoenix, you could say that he's sort of the Phoenix at first, kind of fallen from grace, but then when he finds it, he bursts into being and he takes flight. Doomed love. This is the Chip's character loves the space shuttle, but of course the space shuttle can't love him back. He even like seems amazed and in love with it when he sees it. That is of course also unrequited love, and there's a little deceit going on here as well. Because we're deceiving the audience to think something bad's going to happen, but then it ends up being good. Nuclear war. It looks like there's a shot on there that actually like looks like this thing went through hell and went through a nuclear war, and I kind of was imagining Chip like looking at it that way, looking at it like this relic of a race, because it's dead. It will never be used again, and it's gonna be in a museum. A close shave. He almost misses. He almost doesn't make it to the space shuttle on time, and almost made it to the museum, barely made it. And that was true with me. I almost missed it. Okay, so now we have our blue cards. Outside in, we collaborated with a couple other students outside of the SCA to be in this movie. You can see a couple of them have cameos with like Devin is wearing a sombrero, and a couple other people who like peek their heads out of their doors. Also, shared universe. This is Chip. We've used this character before, and there are a couple other references to other projects we've done within the movie. Indivisible. We collaborated with students from all parts of SCA. From the archives, there's an image in there that's from the archives. We managed to throw it in. And something completely different, of course, because this is something completely different, and that is all. Yay!